full-time RV can be the best thing you've ever done or the biggest mistake of your life, depending on the steps you take before you ever hit the road.
Mistakes entering this lifestyle can lead to financial ruin, and we've seen it over and over.
So today, as we continue our trek back to San Antonio, we are going to go through the steps that's going to set you up for a wonderful full-time life on the road.
I have to warn you that not everyone, including other YouTube channels, will agree with us.
We spent last night at an overnight campground, literally out in the middle of nowhere. It's called Corral RV Park. Corral, right? I want to say Coral. That's so wrong. There's two R's.
There's two R's, yes.
Corral RV Park in Dalhart, Texas. So if you're passing through this way and want to overnight, this place is quiet, it's clean, and it's very well maintained. Our first stop today is a Love's truck stop. We are stopping here so we can use our open roads card and is our savings plan for our RV fuel. And let me tell you, we have saved some big bucks since we started using it a few years ago. As a matter of fact, there was one time a couple of years ago where we saved $1.10 a gallon. So I would love to know from you guys, if you have savings cards out there with whatever company, what is the most you've saved at one fill up? Let's have a little competition and see who has saved the most. One of the big things people never consider before they hit the road is, what will their exit plan be? What are you going to do in case of an emergency and you have to get off the road in 3 months? Or what are you going to do if you just decide you don't want to do it anymore? Usually people are so excited about life on the road, they never even consider how to get off the road at the end of their full-time RV life. And unfortunately, many people financially are not prepared to get off the road, whether it's in 3 months or 3 years down the road. So make sure you have a plan. It doesn't have to be set in stone, and it may even change over time. Ours has certainly changed over the last 7 years, but make sure you have a plan, and if you had to get off the road tomorrow, you know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. The last thing you want to do is get stuck in your RV with no way to exit and no way to move back into a sticks and bricks. We've made it to our overnight stop here at Twin Peaks RV Resort in Slatton, Texas, and it's a perfect little overnight campground because in the summer in Texas, you need to plug in because those ACs are going to be super important. Thought this would be the perfect opportunity to give you another step that you should take before you start full-time RVing, and that is to have an emergency fund, because let's face it, not every moment of full-time RV life is going to be, oh, look at that gorgeous sunset. Sometimes things are going to come your way that are going to be major bumps in the road and cost major amounts of money. We're talking breakdowns on the side of the road. We're talking slides that stop opening, or even needing some flights back home for an emergency with family. Things are going to happen when you full-time RV. If you don't have cash set aside, your dream full-time RV life can totally turn into a nightmare. Having an emergency fund means you can handle the unexpected without panicking. And trust me, you're going to want this when you're stranded somewhere in the middle of nowhere with the closest tow truck 200 miles away. Think of it as your safety net. You're never going to love using it, but you're always going to sleep better at night knowing it's there. Good morning. We are prepping for the next leg of our trip back to San Antonio. This has actually been a long haul. We've been moving for quite a while. We've been kind of slow rolling it, which is the way we prefer to do it. We actually initially started from Port Townsend, Washington, and we've been making our way down to San Antonio. So today will take us to Fredericksburg, and we're going to hang out there for a week. It is one of our favorite spots to land. So we'll be there for about a week, and then we hit San Antonio. So today, because we're leaving early, it's overnight oats for breakfast. We prefer not to cook in the mornings and have to do dishes and all that when we have a longer travel day. So this makes it fast and easy. We can make it the night before, and it has protein powder, yogurt, and that kind of stuff. So I also have some berries in here, so it's really good. I've already started packing up the RV so we can get moving. Phil is in the shower. Come on, I will let you say hi. Seriously, this is not that kind of show. We just got back from our first real vacation in 7 years. We actually took a trip for the first time since starting our YouTube channel without cameras. Just because we left the cameras behind does not mean we went completely offline. We still needed internet for, well, everything. Google Translate, navigation, restaurant QR codes, keeping up with the family back home, and oh, did I mention Google Translate? If you're getting ready for your next international trip, you're going to want to stay connected too, and that's where Arlo comes in. Today's video sponsor. Arlo is a game changer for international travel. No more searching for local SIM cards or paying those insane roaming fees. With Arlo, you just download an eSIM for the country you're visiting before you ever leave home. The moment you land, boom, you're connected. No stress and no wandering around the airports looking for cell service. Arlo will keep you connected in over 200 countries and regions around the world. If you're planning to travel internationally anytime soon, Arlo is the way to go. Use our code SOMEDAY3 to save $3 off your first eSIM with Arlo. Click the link below or this QR code to grab yours before your next adventure. Along with an emergency fund, why don't you also set up an RV fund? That is exactly what we did. We use our RV fund for upgrades, tires, maintenance, and those pesky repairs. And every time we have to dip into it, we always fill it right back up as soon as we can. And let me tell you, we've dipped pretty hard into it a few times. These tires on this RV, they cost a pretty penny. How much should you keep in these funds? Well, it really depends. For the emergency fund, we recommend at least a minimum of 3 months of expenses, but ideally you have more like 6 months or more. For the RV fund, that also depends on the type of RV you have and what it costs to maintain that RV. For our RV fund, we've decided to keep 2 times the amount it would take to replace our tires. So tires on this bad boy cost about $5 grand, so we keep 10 grand in our RV fund. And let me tell you, we've depleted that quite a few times with some of the repairs we've needed with this RV. So if you have either one of these funds, drop down in the comments and let everyone know what you think the baseline should be for the emergency fund as well as your RV repair fund.
Careful who you cross, careful who you test. Give me your worst and you'll get my best.
This is how I have more steps than Phil every time we are having a travel day, because when he pulls the rig forward, I'm always running after him with the camera.
'Cause I don't know how to back down, how to back down. No, I don't know.
Our first stop of the day is Allsup's right across the street. It is going to be a long travel day for us. Well, long for us. It's about 325 miles, so we are going to fill up right here on the way out. And the first thing Phil's doing is he's actually checking the level of the DEF to see if we're going to get DEF at this stop. If so, then I will pull up and assist him in that. Let's see what he says. Do we need it?
Yeah, I'm going to top it off. So go ahead and turn it.
All right, so we'll top it off. So I'll turn off the ignition now. He will fill up with diesel, and then once he's all done with that, I'll move the rig forward. What we typically do on travel days is Phil will pull up the Open Roads app, and he will look at fuel along our route based on how much fuel we have at the time and decide where to stop. We try to get the cheapest rate possible for fuel. The Open Roads app will show what your discount will be with the gas stations in their program. So when you're looking at the app, some people make the mistake in only looking at how big their discount is, but your big discount might not give you the lowest price. So always look at the final price in the Open Roads app and not just be excited about how much you're saving. So Phil did look at this also, and the rate was comparable. So we're just going to start off with a full tank. I just got to say, it is 8:39. We have left the campground. We have fueled up, and we have to acknowledge the fact that Phil actually got his ass out of bed this morning and got moving. If you guys don't know, he does not do alarm clocks, but today, because we have a longer drive than what's normal for us, he's on the move.
Yeah. And because she said, I set an alarm clock, I started waking up at 4 because I didn't want to miss the alarm clock. And then I never even heard it go off. I was sleeping so good. So this is an anomaly for us.
Yes, it's not.
Yeah.
Normally we say we are leaving no later than 9 and usually pull out around 10.
Yeah, that's the MO. Yeah, we call that Farley time.
Yeah.
If we say 9, add an hour.
All
Yeah.
right, I'm really excited that will actually be on the road before 9 a.m. The only negative is, are we going to run into 9 o'clock traffic? We never have that issue because we never leave this early.
Well,
although we're kind of on a back road.
We're out in BFE, so I don't
Is there
think-
traffic, morning traffic in BFE?
Well, I've never discovered morning traffic, but we're going to find out. I don't think we will because of the location of where we're at. We kind of are out in the middle of nowhere.
And we're going away from Lubbock, which is the
Yeah.
biggest town. So hopefully all traffic will be going into Lubbock.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do this.
Let's get away to new places. Today's the day. It's time to go to places we've never been. Adventure is waiting there. We can go anywhere. This is where our dreams begin. Let's go.
Man, does it get hot in here when we're driving around in the summertime. That is crazy. And we totally should have stopped or not stopped, but just turned on the generator so we could turn on the AC. So at least by the time we got here, it would be a little bit cooler. 100 degrees is going to take a minute for these ACs to cool off. But I just heard my clue to know if they'll turned on the electric outside. I always hear the washer ding, so I know I can turn on the AC. So let's get that bad boy started because Phil is going to be hot when he comes in. Phew. Welcome to Texas, y'all. We finally made it to our spot here in Fredericksburg, Texas, and I gotta tell you, I am loving this campground already. So if you want to see the full tour, then make sure you tune in next week. In the meantime, I thought it was time I share our very unpopular opinion about what you should do before you hit the road full time. We think you should pay off all of your debt, if not all, as much as you can. Yeah, I know. It's not shiny, fun advice that some people give, but let's face it, when you head out on the road in your RV, so many things can and will go wrong. So the last thing you want is to have to buy a new tire, pay to get the RV towed, or really just get stranded due to some kind of crazy mechanical issue and not have the money to pay your bills and fork out whatever it's going to cost to do the repairs. Starting your full-time RV life debt-free will give you a ton of breathing room. It will allow you to focus on the experiences that you want to have without being worried about where every penny in the budget is going. Also, it allows you to have more control over your finances because there are a ton of things on the road you can't control, like rising fuel prices. Look, I know getting out of debt and paying off bills is never exciting, but you know what? Freedom is exciting, and freedom is why you're choosing this life to begin with. So when you set out on the road, let's be as free as possible, free to make the choices and free to not be bogged down by all that debt. There's a ton of resources out there for you now that will help you and coach you in getting out of debt if you need help. When we did it, we used Dave Ramsey's snowball program. Look, it wasn't easy for us either, and our life basically sucked for about 2 years as we dug out of our hole. Since we've hit the road, we've been able to buy the tickets and do the tours and not worry so much about only doing the freebies. Yeah, we like to save money just like everybody else, but not worrying about money all along the way has made the difference 100%. All right, I gotta know what side you're on. Are you in the get out of debt camp, or are you on the other side and say it's not that big a deal? So I would love to know down in the comments what your thoughts are. That's it from Fredericksburg. So if you want to know more about this campground in this area, be sure and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video.